We are 19 days away from the election, and tonight, the New York City mayoral candidates are doubling down and going on the attack.
In other words, what the Assemblyman said is he has no experience.
What I don't have in experience, I make up for in integrity. And what you don't have in integrity, you could never make up for in experience.
Yes.
We have the architect and we have the apprentice of no cash bail, which has been a disaster.
The first mayoral debate was both combative and complex. The issues that matter to you front and center tonight, and we break it all down. Good evening. I'm Christine Johnson. Tonight, New Yorkers had a chance to learn more about the three candidates vying to lead our city. It was a frenzied scene in Midtown as Andrew Cuomo, Curtis Sliwa, and Zoran Mamdani arrived for the debate. Inside, the sparks were flying as they squared off on issues and controversies ahead of the November 4th election. Political reporter Marcia Kramer is here to break it all down for us tonight. Marcia, it was quite a debate.
It was indeed, Christine. In fact, it might have been a lot easier for everyone if instead of a debate, Zoran Mamdani and Andrew Cuomo simply put on a pair of boxing gloves and tried to punch each other's lights out. The two men went after each other time and time again, which is clearly frustrating for Curtis Sliwa.
There's high levels of testosterone in this room.
It was the understatement of the night, and it happened barely 13 minutes into a 2-hour debate. Curtis Sliwa also experiencing the frustration of being the forgotten man. Cuomo and Mamdani just wanted to eviscerate each other.
This is no job for on-the-job training. And if you look at the failed mayors, they're ones that had no management experience. Don't do it again.
I have the experience of having served in the New York State Assembly for 5 years and watching a broken political system. And what all of that experience has shown me, which Mr. Cuomo can't seem to understand, is that it is far too expensive and far too hard for New Yorkers to afford to live in this city.
He literally has never had a job. On his resume, it says he interned for his mother. You could have a hurricane, you have, God forbid, a 9/11, a health pandemic.
And if we have a health pandemic, then why would New Yorkers turn back to the governor who sent seniors to their death in nursing homes?
The wide-ranging debate dealt with public safety, affordability, free buses, the need for more housing, and the ability to stand up to Donald Trump. But time and time again, it seemed to go back to anti-Semitism and whether Israel has the right to exist as a Jewish state.
The Assemblyman still won't say he believes that Israel has the right to exist as a Jewish state. He is a divisive personality.
I've said time and again that I recognize Israel's right to exist. I've said that I will not recognize any states. I said that I will not.
As a Jewish state.
If I would be allowed to finish, that I would not recognize any state's right to exist with a system of hierarchy on the basis of race, of religion.
Jews are under attack now more than ever before. And I don't believe either of you have the capabilities of protecting them with increased anti-Semitism.
I don't think in any way the Assemblyman is representative of the Muslim community. Many of his positions don't even follow the Muslim faith.
You know, it took Andrew Cuomo being beaten by a Muslim candidate in the Democratic primary for him to set foot in a mosque. It's been an hour and 20 minutes of this debate, and we haven't heard Governor Cuomo say the word affordability. That's why he lost the primary.
Although Mamdani was endorsed by Governor Hochul, he wouldn't endorse her re-election. Neither would Cuomo or Sliwa. Sliwa's best line was attacking Mamdani's plan to limit police response in domestic disputes.
With this new police outreach unit, will endanger women and children in domestic violence situations. They will be killed. They will be maimed.
So what did we learn? Well, we also learned that Mamdani has bought marijuana legally. Sliwa smoked medical marijuana. Andrew Cuomo is not into weed. Each of them spends about $150 a week on groceries. And egg and cheese on a roll is the fave bodega breakfast order for all three. No salt for Cuomo and Sliwa. Mamdani spices his up with jalapenos.
Egg and cheese on a roll. They're just like us, Marcia. So next week, one more debate, right?
God, only one more.
Okay. Thank you, Marcia. And do stay with us for leading up to this election day. On our website, you'll find a live blog of this debate. And we will have full voters decide guide at cbsnewyork.com.
Yeah, so just my thoughts. I guess there's going to be another debate before the election for the New York mayoral, choice of who's going to be, the mayor of New York City. And I watched most of it last night. It was a lot of annoying stuff, like the host, the panelists, the once the control was like kept interrupting and kept on rushing the whole process, and it's like it was such a mess. Mamdani is someone that continues to, and the only reason I knew who Mamdani was because Nico endorsed him to become the mayor of New York City, and when I heard about it, I was reading about it. Everyone was like, he's a communist, a socialist. Bernie Sanders and AOC endorsed him and support him. And Sneeko, I don't know why, but like he became a single issue voter. He was the main reason was because he's pro Palestine. That's the only reason he endorsed Mamdani. Cuomo is corrupt. We all know this. And if I'm being honest, Sliwa was probably the most safe choice, and I understand why a lot of New Yorkers are on the Mamdani wave because Mamdani's young. He seems like someone that's like the average man. Like he's relatable. He seems relatable. Um, he's not the best communicator, but um, I understand why a lot of New Yorkers feel somewhat like safe, thinking that he's gonna help with cost of living and free buses and healthcare, all these things, which is what every Democrat is basically like. That's their main focus on, right? When it comes to finances and certain things like that, that's obviously the Republican side, which is why I think Sliwa is obviously the safe choice. Um, Even if Cuomo, right? Let's say it was just between Cuomo and Mamdani. Cuomo, even though I think he's corrupt, he's not like he chooses both. I remember when they asked the question about who would you rather watch, the Knicks or the Mets or whatever. He was, I'll go both. I will do both. Like he's not someone that has a stand on anything. And the questions, by the way, were some of them were really weird. Like why does it matter? What's your favorite food? What's um your headline that you would do for when you reach your first year as mayor? So weird, so disorganized. But I think Sliwa he's the one you could tell he loves New York City. Um and he's someone that understands the city and he wants the best for the citizens of Manhattan. And I'm someone born from New York City. New York is cooked right now. It's so expensive. Um, it's dirty. It's home for me. Um, New York will always have a special place in my heart, but um, there's a big issue going on in New York when it comes to just how everything's set up, the immigration issue, um, finding the cost of living, rent, like the cost of living where there's like $5,000 for like a bedroom that's like not even two bedrooms. It's a closet. It's sad, and I feel like Sliwa is the only one that has an actual somewhat plan, because Mamdani is trying to like defund the police, and the taxes on the 1%. And one thing I will give to Mamdani, when he speaks, I do believe he's saying what he believes, and I gotta respect someone that actually has somewhat of a belief of a plan. Cuomo, he will just fall for anyone. So if you told me, Anthony, who would you vote for between Cuomo and Mamdani, I'll probably end up voting for Cuomo just because Cuomo might be less radical. He might be corrupt, but he'll be less likely to like make things worse than Mamdani, which I think for sure he's gonna make things worse. But with that being said, if you're in New York, I'm just gonna keep praying for you guys because again, everyone can say Mamdani has like the the highest likelihood of being mayor of New York City. I would give Sliwa the vote, right? But no one even knows who Sliwa is. No one really cares and he kept on being interrupted and didn't even get the chance to really speak that much because they kept on focusing on Mamdani versus Cuomo. But Cuomo's running as an independent, but he lost. If I remember correctly, didn't he lose to Mamdani? So that's why I'm confused. And yeah, so I just wanted to share my thoughts on that. And again, I'm praying for New York City, and this is not a good sign. It's not a good sign, and I pray that you guys vote for who you guys think is going to be the best for you guys. Just I just know what the future's coming because I'll be honest, my family moved away from New York City years ago when I was young, when I was a baby, and the cost of living how expensive everything was back then, and then moving to Jersey and then Pennsylvania, right? Because I grew up in Pennsylvania most of my life, and everyone in New York and Jersey is coming to Pennsylvania. And then now, oh my God, I'm guarantee you, once Mamdani is elected mayor, the flood of people that are going to be moving over to Pennsylvania, or maybe even other, like, I just know people are going to be moving out of New York City faster than people will be arriving. So all you could do is pray. So let me know your guys' thoughts. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Are you going to be voting for Mamdani for mayor? Uh, do you how can I say this? Do you have a expectation of like what Mamdani is going to do for the city? Because again, he's the favorite. He's the the primary uh you know person that people are saying is going to be elected. So I'm just curious to know your guys' thoughts. Be sure to subscribe. We're so close to 1,000 subscribers. I'm very happy about that, and I'm going to continue to create videos and allow myself to be someone that's a spokesperson for these things, because I think this is very important. So let me know your thoughts.